Hey everybody, Silverpaw Reads here, and I am back with another new story. The title of this story is Spike. Now I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation. I don't even know if this is a real word, but the article is Omizuao. Omizuao. Zuao. Omizuao. I don't know. One of the people watching my videos suggested this to me, and I read through a couple of chapters, and I thought it was really cool. So I decided to read it. The subject matter is kind of mature, so watch out for that. Also, these are pantyhose on my microphone because it helps with filtering out sounds, so do not worry. It may look weird, but it is perfectly fine, and I am sane, and it works well. So you may be thinking, where's that other story you're doing? Sonny Life Book 1. Well, the next chapter is really long, and doing long videos I kind of don't like as much, and I felt like this one was kind of short, so I decided to do it instead. Let's go. I'm cold. I wrap myself in a fetal position to keep warm, but it doesn't help. It's not the icy concrete floor I'm lying tied up and naked on. That's not what's causing me to shiver like this. I touch my skin and feel that certain areas are in fact boiling. The sweat that is trickling out of the goosebump-covered surface turns cold in an instant. But still, this isn't what makes me feel so frozen. My eyes are blindfolded. Good thing, really. I don't want to see what the hell's going on out there. It will just make me even colder because the cold I feel is coming from deep inside of me. I'm breathing heavily. I know I can feel the icy wisps of air caress my skin as I respire. It's somehow soothing. Means I'm still alive. I'm terrified at the thought of dying. Don't know why, though. But I'm pretty sure it has to do with the fact that I know all too well just where I'm headed in the afterlife. So I do my best to cope with the life that is given me, the life that I stole more accurately. I was never meant to be alive, and he knows it so well. That's why he keeps me doing this. My hands are tied up. I was starting to think that maybe the ropes had slid off because I couldn't feel them burning into my skin anymore. Maybe I'd just gotten used to the pain and I still can't move my hands much. Maybe I've been lying here motionless for so long that most part of my body has gone numb. But I don't mind. Being numb might make me feel less when he comes down here to finish what he's all too obviously planning. I shudder again, not from the cold, but from the thought of what he's going to do to me. I only find myself wondering how these things could have felt like if I was a girl. I can't imagine, but I'm guessing there really couldn't be much of a difference. Only that being a girl, I'd have more than just two orifices for him to violate. I curl up even tighter. Sadly, the numbness subsides, and I feel the pain jolting throughout my body again. I grit my teeth, clench my fist, and hear the snapping of joints in my fingers. My wrists start stinging again, skin torn away, letting the rope press against open wounds. At least they feel like open wounds, and I'm pretty sure they are, as I remember how warm the blood felt as it ran down my palms. I suddenly get aware of my hunger. After 2 whole days down here, if not more, even my already empty stomach started going numb, but now, just as I lead my hands toward my mouth, the hunger strikes back and my stomach feels as though it's imploding. I try to ignore it. I feel my cold hands touch an even colder mouth, gone so cold it takes a few seconds for me to recognize it as my own. I keep elevating my hands until I feel the ropes touch my lips, then I start chewing on them. I know it's pointless. I know it's just a waste of energy. I know to keep my mind occupied, I need to do something. A metallic taste extends on my tongue. I knew it had been bleeding. I wasn't just another hallucination. If only I could get this blindfold off. He really tied me up tight this time, tighter than last time, and the time before that, and tighter than ever, actually. I'm not familiar with these knots. This isn't at all consoling. He's become increasingly brutal lately. He's always been brutal, but after I reached my puberty, things have gotten out of hand. A quick flashback displays my inner eye, and along with it comes a massive nausea and great urge to throw up. I force myself to swallow the vomit that managed to press its way into my mouth. I don't want to line my own puke. Things are nasty enough as they are down here. I hate those flashbacks. They haunt me every day and come without warning. Pictures and clips playing in my mind for a brief second. Images of him touching me, those eerie, gentle touches. His caressing feels worse than his beating. If he strikes a fist in my face, it hurts like hell at the moment, but the pain goes away after a while. Those bruises heal, but when he caresses me, strokes his hands down my body, that feeling stays there like a stain you can't wash away. They erupt into mental bruises that never heal. I can still feel it. I think they're called tactile hallucinations, where I can clearly feel the things he's done to me. I remember the first time, which was around the time I was 5 years old. Clear as day, I can still feel the indescribable pain of when he forced his way inside of me. I still feel the warm liquid running down my thighs, a mixture of semen and my blood. I feel like screaming, crying, and vomiting all at once when I think of it. I feel like tearing off my skin, rid myself of the stains he's left on me. I can shower for hours, I can carve deep cuts into my skin. I can even try burning marks on me, but whatever I do will always remain stained. I remember the sex ed class we had a few weeks ago. They kept talking about how it was a beautiful act between two individuals, how it was supposed to make you feel absolutely delightful. They talked about arousal and what a nice and how it was supposed to make you feel absolutely delightful. They talked about arousal and what a nice feeling it was, talking about intercourse using adjectives that were total opposite of what I had been thinking, experiencing all along. It also made me realize just how normal it was for a boy to lose his virginity at the age of 5, especially to his uncle. Looking around me, it suddenly was as though everyone could see what he'd done to me, and it was then I knew, and I really felt like I understood why what had happened and what kept happening to me was something I should never tell anyone about. I started fearing what would happen to me if I did. I left class long before it was even over. I told my teacher I needed to use the bathroom, and I ditched school for the rest of the day. I felt so stigmatized and alienated, like I'd been an abomination, and from that day on I felt even more stained and even more stared at, even more judged. At home I started understanding more and more what was really going on. At the same time, all those new questions started popping in my head. Why did he do these things to me? Why was anyone else in my class experiencing this? Why didn't the caretakers, parents, treat them that way? Why only me? I stopped chewing on the rope. There really isn't any use in doing it. Instead, I start rubbing my forehead against the concrete-coated floor, trying to make blindfold come off somehow. My black hair lies in the way. I try blowing it away with my breath, but it goes in the wrong direction. I can't even see where I should aim, and emaciated and exhausted from the lack of food and sleep, there isn't really much strength left in me, and whatever little that remains I've decided to save until needed, but I managed to mobilize just enough strength in my neck to make a quick toss with my head and get my bangs out of the way. Then I keep on rubbing my face against the floor. After much effort, my left eye is uncovered. I look around. Everything I see is just different shades of darkness, but I recognize it as the basement. Well, of course it's the basement. There's no other reason to think he'd put me anywhere else. Besides, it is the only room in this godforsaken house that's cold, that's dark, that's smelly, and that's terrifying. But just for a brief moment, I think I lost track of reality, know where I was, and that I was still in our house. Sorry, his house. Nothing more than a parasite, not floating around weightless in a space or falling down into an abyss like it had felt like a long time now. It is a strange way of comforting. I hadn't lost my mind completely yet. Hatred had been present once or twice, not the emotion. Hatred is a person, more or less. Chuck did some satanic shit to me when I was little. I'm suspecting it. It was after that hatred came along. I remember curiously trying out his Ouija board once, and it scared the crap out of me when the questions that I got at were actually replied. Chuck gave a good beating when he figured out I used it. I don't think he really got mad. I think instead he was just using an excuse to beat me up. He does that a lot. I'm not insane. I really am not, but sometimes I feel it would be okay if I were, because at least then I'd have a logical explanation to all the creepy things I'm seeing. Then I'd be reassured knowing that there wasn't really any demons or evil spirits. It was just me being a lunatic. I can't see the markings on the walls anymore. It's too dark, but I know these walls are filled with them occult symbols and markings that Uncle Chuck once painted there. I'm glad I can't see them. They too bring back a lot of bad memories. Everything in this fucking shack of a house does, and the look of things I'm dangerously close to getting another bad memory of the record. How did I end up like this? Tied up and left naked in the basement again. How did he do it this time? I'm hardly ever easy to get a hold of, so he usually has to fight me and beat me unconscious to get me to the basement, but I can't recall us fighting before this happened. Not much, anyhow. I lay still, thinking, and then I try spreading my legs a little to see if it hurts. If it does, then it means he's already done it while I was unconscious. If it doesn't, and he hasn't done it yet, it means I'm terrified right now for a reason. It doesn't hurt. Fuck. I actually feel a tear crawl down my face. I can't stand crying, so I try wiping it away with my sore, numb hands, but a new one comes shortly after. I'm so scared, and I can't stand being scared either. It makes me feel weak, and I can't be weak. In order to survive, I have to be strong. It's just not these things I'm going through. It's just too much for me to bear alone. I can't take it anymore, but what can I do? I wish emotions were something you could just wipe away too. Shit. What was that sound just now? Oh god, I think he's coming. Oh, yeah, I hear him walking now. Chuck's walking the upper level. I can even hear the sound of the bottles he's carrying, meaning he's been drinking again. Oh, God, please don't walk to the staircase. Please don't walk to the staircase. Please don't. The key turns round fast in the keyhole. I hear the door being opened with force. The following sound is that of the explaining steps as he walks down the stairs, getting closer and closer to where I am. I'm lying in the far corner of the room with my back facing the stairs, so I can't see him. All I do is listen. Try figuring out, by mere sound, how close he's getting, but what he's doing and what his mood's like. I feel even colder now when I'm shuddering like crazy. My breathing increases in pace, and even though I thought I was dehydrated, I'm getting soaked in my own cold sweat while silent tears of terror run down my face. I want to curl up even more and wrap my arms around my body to protect myself. But I don't want him to think of me as a coward, so I try to lay still. I try. That's easier said than done. You know it's just a matter of seconds before you'll get raped, and there's nothing you can do to prevent it from happening, because no matter how much you struggle, no matter how loud you scream, there's nothing that can save you. No one will ever hear your desperate cries for help. You'll just have to sit back and take it. It's all you can do. So I lay there, almost unmoving, bitterly weeping, as silent as I possibly can, while my heart is pounding so hard inside my chest it feels like I could fracture my ribs with ease. Oh, God. I can hear him saying something, but I'm too paralyzed by fear to understand what. I automatically launch a kick. I automatically launch a kick the instant I feel his sweaty palms feel up my thighs, and it's on. He starts cursing at me, grabs my hair, and pulls me up against the wall. I curse back at him, and he backhands me across the face so hard I can taste fresh blood in my mouth, and I feel his face pulsating with pain. My face pulsating with pain, but this is nothing at all compared to what he's got to begin. A hand slips between my thighs, clutches my genital. I gasp, then he screams. I start thrashing about to Roth, free, still screaming and shouting, even though I know it's no use. He lets go of my hair and uses his now free hand to silence me by grabbing my throat. Hisses me a threat and continues the nauseating, repetitive motion below. Defenseless, all I can do is stand there and let him do it. Whatever I throw at him, I'll get back 1,000-fold. I'm already stripped naked, which is, to me is an extremely humiliating and panicky situation to be in, but now I can hear that things are about to get much worse as the rattling of the belt makes me aware that he's about to strip down too. I feel his skin against mine as he presses towards me, completely trapping me with his body weight, which is surprisingly heavy for someone as skinny as him. I'm really skinny, though. I hate the word. I can even feel our ribs rubbing against one another. My hands are still tied and squished, something slowly erecting. I could have kicked him right in the groin, kneed him right in the stone so hard he could have been unable to run after me as I escaped, but I'm too paralyzed and weakened by terror. I feel to even dare thinking of it as an option. I can't do anything. I simply can't. On your knees. I shake my head, stuttering more reluctant words, but as I suspected, this just angers him. When I was younger, I didn't dare protesting at all, but lately I've begun doing just that. I don't understand why. I guess I'm just naively hoping he realizes one day that I honestly don't want to do it, but how can I convince him of that when I don't even believe it myself? I can't help but being aroused when he touches me in certain ways, which I don't understand because I'm not enjoying the things he does. It's also confusing. He pushes me down on my knees. I can smell what it is. I'm sitting at eye level in front of it. It stinks almost as foul as it tastes. I bite my shivering lip, refusing to open my mouth. He then places a palm on my forehead and bashes the back of my head against a brick wall behind me. Intense pain rushes through my head. I scream again, but the sound is drowned out by the throbbing headache it caused. Do it, he shouts. Open your fucking mouth, kid. I'll crack your skull wide open. And God knows he'll do it. He's broken my bones before, so fracturing my cranium doesn't seem like something he'd hesitate on doing. Another option would be to bite it clean off, but he'd kill me dead if I did. He grabs my hair again, firmly, daring me to defy him. I'm close to hyperventilating. I'm so cold I've lost feeling in most part of my body, and I feel myself relieved to some extent that I've gotten almost completely numb, because I'm now opening my mouth.